I'm about to regret my decision. I'm losing my mind here in quarantine. It's been a month since I've gotten a haircut and I'm looking pretty rough. So I'm gonna give myself a haircut today. We'll see how badly I mess it up. Who knows? Maybe I'll do okay. I don't know. So for my tools, here I got a Sterling 4 wall clipper. I've done some research. I've done a little bit of research, and it turns out it's actually pretty good. The whole reason I started this thing is because I was actually just watching YouTube one day, and then I saw a guy, Alpha.
Gentlemen, have I introduced you to my friend T. Shanley?
So here I got a clipper. Here I got a bullet trimmer. I got a comb. I got my mom's, what are these called?
Crunchy's dumbass.
I know what they're called, I'm just blanking out. But yeah, so I don't have any duck clips for my hair, so I'm just gonna improvise and use these. Got scissors, got combs, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So after watching dozens and dozens of YouTube videos, and my aunt is actually a hairstylist, I got a little bit more of a sense of what to do with my hair, so I'm not completely clueless and completely mess it up. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to give myself a fade. I learned that. And here's what I've learned. So with the clipper, you're supposed to roll out. You're obviously supposed to water your hair. Just add some water so that it can become longer, because that's what water when it touches hair does. I'm gonna try to give myself a fade around my occipital bone, which is this lump right here. It actually makes it look better rather than just having it kind of across. So before I clump my hair together, I'm just finding the parting, the natural parting. And I'm gonna try to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so I look pretty goofy, but I should get the job done. So I'm gonna do my sides first before I get the top, and with the top, I'm gonna run through it with my hands and use scissors. Oof. I'm always nervous with this. Like, this is much heavier than I expected it to be, and also, like, I'm doing this with one hand while holding a mirror with the other. So it makes everything a little bit difficult, like much more difficult, and yeah, I'm just not used to any of this, so I'm gonna mess up. But what the important thing is, I'm learning. Alright, so the next time I do this, it'll be much better regardless. Probably gonna stay in quarantine for like another month more. So might as well learn something new, you know? Okay.
Alright, so before I say anything else, I just want to say real quick that this is not a tutorial. This is just me showcasing to you guys what I've learned from watching a bunch of YouTube videos. But with that being said though, I already made my first mistake without even cutting my hair. At first I needed to use a trimmer, which is what I'm using now, but I used a clipper instead. And the reason why I needed to use a trimmer instead of a clipper at first is because the trimmer's blades are much shorter than the clipper's blades. And when I'm creating a line, which is what I'm doing around my head, it needs to be a much sharper division between the two, going from hair to almost skin, which is what I was aiming for.
Alrighty then, it's gonna be a process.
So everything below the line that I've created is gonna be shaved off, and that's gonna be all around my head. And this is another mistake that I've made here. I used the clipper instead of the trimmer. Reason being is the trimmer cuts much closer to the skin than the clipper, since the blades are shorter, and I didn't do that. I didn't realize that mistake until much later, but I just continue with it, and I'm just going around my head, just shaving everything off. And the reason why I'm using this technique, where I'm creating a line around my head first, is because I'm just cutting my hair on my own, right? So the way this works is I'm creating a line. Below the line is going to be shaved off, and from the top is going to be faded. And I'm doing this because I'm the only one cutting my hair, and creating a line gives me a better reference point to go back to, rather than if I were to fade from the top to bottom, which is what I've seen some people do. but the line gives me a better sense of judgment since it's really difficult to see around your head, and to create a solid, consistent line, which I struggle doing. And you guys can see here that the back of my hair is uncombed. Now this is another mistake that I've made that comes into play a little bit later in the video. But yeah, I didn't comb the back of my hair when I was combing my sides. So I'm just going around and I'm readjusting my scrunchies there. And yeah, here you can see that the line looks pretty fucked up. Yeah, it's really bad. Again, it's really hard to see what you're doing, especially for me since I wear glasses. I know I don't wear glasses in my videos, but I do wear them, and it was a little bit blurry seeing behind my head and around it. Another thing that made it difficult was not being used to any of this. This is my first time doing anything like this, and it just felt like you're playing a video game but your controls are inverted, but you don't realize they're inverted. So it was really difficult for me to maneuver.
Look at the top of his head.
So yeah, I fucked up. The reason I fucked up is because I didn't comb the backside of my hair earlier when I should have, and that created a lopsided effect. My left side went a little bit higher than my occipital bone, and my right side turned out a lot better. Yeah, so oh god, it looks so bad. And because of that, it's really off center. Now, once I fade my hair, it doesn't look as bad, but it still looks bad. It still looks noticeable, and as I was told by someone in my family. So I went back and I tried to fix it. And what I did was I just raised the line on the back side of my head, the fade line, a little bit higher, a little bit above my occipital bone, which is what I was trying to avoid originally, since it looks better if it's below the occipital bone, because I had this one time where I went to a barber and they gave me a fade, but it was above my bone, and it looked pretty bad. So I was trying to avoid that, but as it turns out, I couldn't avoid it. But I know for next time though. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just combing the top of my head, and I'm gonna cut the top of my hair. Now, a couple problems that I came across with this is when I was going to cut it, my scissors were dull. They weren't sharp enough, and they just weren't cutting through my hair, and I was struggling with that. I had to reposition my hand several times to go back to where it was, because I was moving my head a lot too, since I was trying to really cut my hair. Now I do have another pair of scissors at home, but I didn't get them because I had a lot of hair on me and I didn't want it to fall off, and that would have just made another mess that I had to clean up. But yeah, eventually I got it partially working. It was still difficult to work with the scissors, but I just tried to do with what I could. And yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm just going section by section, row by row, from the back side of my head towards the front. And admittedly, this looks a lot easier when barbers do it, and this is my first time actually doing it myself, and I didn't realize how difficult it was. So you learn a lot of things when you're trying to cut your own hair. So here I'm going to the front, and the top of my hair is pretty long. I didn't realize how long it actually was until I started doing this. I don't know how many inches that is, like maybe 4 inches long if I were to give it a guess. And I don't even know how much I was cutting off. But yeah, so this is towards the end of the haircut. I'm just finalizing, just looking at what I need, what's left, what I should do. And at this point, I'm actually pretty satisfied with my haircut. Again, I didn't notice the back side of my head till someone told me. And yeah, I thought it looked good. You know, for my first haircut, like, not too bad, considering I have zero experience whatsoever. And here I'm just cleaning my bathroom since there was a lot of hair. It went everywhere.
Alright, so I've taken a shower now, and I've styled my hair a little bit, and after like 2.5 hours later, this is how it turns out.
Alright, so at this point in the video, my audio did cut off. But yeah, so this is my first haircut. For what it is, it's actually not too bad. I've seen a lot worse. I've had a lot worse done on me. So the fact that I made something that turned out, you know, kind of decent, it was pretty cool. From now on, I'm definitely gonna cut my hair. But with that being said, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.